Today in higher learning on college campuses across the country, efforts are underway to develop digital textbooks. The latest initiative to use modern technology to help lighten students' backpacks and wallets is happening at Wake Forest University in North Carolina. Here to talk about BioBooks is Peter Kerwin from the Rhode Island Higher Education Assistance Authority. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Michaela.
All right, what is a BioBook? How does that differ from other, digital textbooks?
Well, Campus Technology had a great story on this last week, and the idea of it is that these two professors down at Wake Forest in North Carolina decided they wanted to find a way to make those freshman introductory science classes easier to manage for students.
They can be difficult.
Yeah, it's hard. Because everybody's going to take it. They're all these students are being funneled into it. So you want to make it, as kind of interesting for them as possible. And one of the things that they came up with was this digital textbook, which is based on this open source learning management system called Moodle. And don't ask me where they get the names for all this stuff. I don't know.
I won't touch upon that.
But it's been developed with a grant from the folks at the Next Generation Learning Challenge. And basically, what BioBook does is it's an electronic textbook, but it's different from some of the other projects that we've seen of this kind, because what this one does, it's non-linear, which means that instead of going in and going from chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, students can kind of guide their own path, going through these different nuggets of information and testing themselves as they go along. So, you've got a setup where, instead of what the previous generation of e-textbooks were trying to do was take actual printed textbooks and get them online, which is basically creating screenshots of different pages of books. But what this is, you're creating a universe of information and allowing students to kind of guide themselves through it and check the work that they're doing as they go along. So it's a really interesting way that might really create the next generation of e-textbooks.
Almost creating their own course for their work. So how do you see these improvements in technology and these advancements, how do you see those really affecting students?
Well, because now you've got the iPad and these other tablets, what that technology is doing with BioBook is you can have, you'll look on the screen, and on the left hand of the screen is kind of the information that you're going through. On the right hand, you'll now be able to write in notes or information, either type it in or write it in with a stylus as you go. So that's really different, because that's been the real key to really, that I think has been holding back e-textbooks. For me, I like a textbook where I can easily flip back and forth between the pages, and you want to be able to take notes as you go.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to sum things up on your own or put it in your own writing to understand it.
And now the technology is starting to catch up, and I think these guys are really trying to take advantage of that and kind of push things in a different direction. Now, we've talked about it before, that the printed textbooks, they're kind of like Sylvester Stallone doing Rocky Balboa. You think you're done with him, and he still comes back for another one. But the folks who sell at the college bookstores, their national organization has anticipated that sales of e-textbooks will be about 3% of the market this year. They're looking for that to grow to 10 to 15% by next year. And I think that might even grow further if you see this kind of technology being brought to bear to make it really easy for students to use.
All right, we're going to see if that happens. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
For more information on this new wave of e-textbooks, head to foxprovidence.com.